Hi girlies, welcome back to Sass a Little Bit of Class. I'm Cara Williamson and today we're going to be talking about self-reflection, okay? If you've ever had a conversation with someone and thought, oh my goodness, how did I come across there? Like, I feel like that was 100% my ego talking. Where did she even come from? That wasn't me. Honestly, don't worry about it, gal, because at least you're self-aware. So we're going to dive into self-awareness, self-reflection, and basically, if you don't have it, how you can get it. I'm basically going to be like your little handbook, okay? Guys, I'm here with a hot chocolate right now. Hope you can hear that. A little bit of whipped cream on top. I usually am a iced caramel latte gal for the wee pod with squishy cream on top, of course. But today I just took Ralphie for a little walk just before the pod, and it's bitter. Like, autumn is in full swing. I'm actually getting a wee hint of snow, maybe. Is it that cold? Possibly. I just feel like autumn winter is here. Honestly, after next week, I'm ready for winter. Do you know what I mean? I'm ready for Christmas. I'm already kind of in the Christmas spirit, but I always get like this. And then like the week of Christmas, I'm like depressed. And I'm like, just hurry up. I'm skint. I'm fat. Come on. And then the weeks after Christmas really get me. Anyway, let's not talk about that, okay? Let's not say the C word. Let's just dive right into our ep, okay? So basically, after I have any conversation with literally anyone, okay, it could be the simplest conversation, like might not even mean anything to you, but to me, I will be analysing that, okay? I think it's called like psychoanalyzing or something. So I basically just analyse every conversation that I have, and I like to analyse you, I like to analyse me, like I think, oh my goodness, like why did I act like that? How did you manage to trigger me? Like even if it's just a basic conversation and I feel like maybe my egos came out, I've maybe got a bit defensive. And you know me, I'm a deep thinker, do you know what I mean? Like I love to analyse everything, okay? I could be sitting in a restaurant in my car and I'd be like, oh my god, this is their first date. Like, oh, do you think they're maybe like work pals and be out for lunch? Like I will analyze you eating your dinner. I will make up a whole situation. There was actually this time like I just like analyzed this girl I was working with, okay, and I was like, oh, do you like horse riding? She was like, yeah. I was like, I know, like I just know, like she's like, yeah. She's like, I've actually just had to like get rid of my horse or whatever she said, God knows, but I'm just like, I just know, like I just get the vibes. So yeah, after any conversation I like to analyze, okay. So with me, it's very much what was said, how did I react, and why. This is the main thing, why. Okay, fine, you've convinced me. We'll just get in deep right now, okay? So, God, the hands are really coming out today. I'm really sorry. So, a couple of years ago, every month, around a certain time, I was getting these feelings like I wanted to reach out to people that maybe I shouldn't and aren't very good for me, whether that's like past friendships, and I was just like really just wanted them back in my life, and I'm like, but I actually don't. Like when I deep it, I actually don't want to contact them. Like I really don't want to see them. I don't really want to hang out. They're like, we're not really like in each other's lives like for a reason, and obviously that decision was made. And I'm just kind of thinking, why? And why is it when I'm like all emotional and all? And I was like, maybe it's just because I'm like emotional, like I was saying, maybe it's just like hormones and all that. And then just one day I was just like cooking my tea, just like self-reflecting really. And I was like, no, 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 no. I think, sorry, can I just put a little disclaimer here? If you hear my dog crying, he doesn't usually cry, but I'm doing my pod and he can't be in the room. He's a British bulldog and he snores and he breathes like a pig. So if he comes near this mic, it's going to pick up him, not me, okay? And he's crying at my door right now, and I do want to let him in, but I can't. So if you hear him crying, I promise he is loved and he's not neglected. Well, he is. He's only neglected when I'm doing my podcast and his little dad's away out just now, okay? Anyway, moving on. So yeah, around about the same time every month, funnily enough, when I was feeling like hormonal and I was very emotional and things and just irritated by life, I would then start to miss these people, and I thought, what's going on here? This isn't like me. Do you know what I mean? I'm a cold-hearted gal. I like to pretend to be anyway. So I was just kind of like, this just isn't really like me, so it's just a bit strange. And then one time I was just cooking my tea, analysing my life, and my deep, darkest thoughts. And it just came to me, it was like, oh, I want these people in my life because I'm feeling kind of emotional. So I was half right. Then I discovered, I'm trying to explain this in the best way I can. So the friends I wanted back in my life, the time that either the friendship was really good or maybe just before the friendship ended, was when my mum and dad were still together. So it was kind of like I wanted a piece of that life in my life. So it was kind of like, oh, I've not lost everything. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? And I think I mentioned before as well, like, I've got friendships that um I would maybe miss because they were part of my life when my gran was around. So having them in my life is like having a bit of my gran still, even though it's not. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I didn't reach out to them, thank goodness. But yeah, that was kind of just like, honestly, it took me months, like ages, like analyze, and like every time I'd feel, I'd be like, why do I want to message these people? Like, I don't need them in my life. They were a negative thing in my life. Like, it just bad friendships, negative people, okay? And then all of a sudden, I'm feeling emotional. I'm like, oh, I miss them, and we had so much good memories, and blah, blah, blah. And then I would kind of get past this stage, and I'd be totally fine again. It was really, really strange. But yeah, it was just basically because they linked to a time in my life that I kind of wanted back. Like, everyone wants mum and dad back, no matter how old they are, do you know what I mean? So I just feel like that's kind of what I wanted, you know? But after I realised that, it was just like someone switched, and I thought, okay, no. It was just like, because I was able to understand the reason why I was thinking that, and I was obviously analysing that. Um, yeah, after I worked that one out, it's like problem solving, really, really good. It's honestly like a murder mystery game without the murder, of course. Um, yeah, so after I figured that one out, it was totally fine. Even though it was quite good, because when I started missing these people, I'd be like, oh, it must be due. Do you know what I mean? So I was quite good in that sense. But everything else, it was like, please, could you get out of my little head? Living rent free, not anymore. Don't worry. I've had quite a lot of situations like that I'm like, right, why am I thinking this? Why do I keep doing this? What's the trigger? Do you know what I mean? And usually it's when it's happened. Like, I just feel like I would love to go to therapy. This is kind of like my therapy, right? Let's face it. I would honestly love to go to therapy and just go, here's this, babe. Take that. Do you know what I mean? But then I also think I'm just too self aware for that. And you're probably thinking, don't flatter yourself. But honestly, I could be like, I'll go, look, I did this, reacted like that, but it was because of this. Is that not what therapists do? Tell you why you're acting. You basically say, this is my childhood, this is what's happening in my adulthood, and they'll just basically link it and go, you're acting like this because this happened, and I already know why I act the way I act because I've analysed it. Do you know what I mean? Totally fine. One thing I actually can't get my head around, this other thing happened at work. This was like a couple of weeks ago. These girls were on about, like, I don't really take part in work activities, I would say, outside of work, okay? I feel like I don't really like meeting up with work people outside of work because it feels like team building and it feels a bit forced. Sorry, it just does. I don't really like going out anyway, and I'm not really a big drinker. I don't know if I've told you that or not. So it's just not really my thing. Do you know what I mean? I'd rather just chill at home with my dog and Connor and meet my pals outside of work and not talk about work. Do you know what I mean? I'm there 7 days a week. I feel like I am. I'm there 5 days a week. It's a lot. Do you know what I mean? Coming from the girl that gets 6 weeks off in the summer. Apologise. Anyway, but you know what I mean? I just want to have some me time away from work. You know? Is that okay? Is that a crime? Don't think so. Anyway, so these girls were having a little discussion, and I happened to walk past, and then they say to me, oh, why do you never hang out with us? And by the way, I've done this in all work situations. Never have I ever been out with a group of work, unless it's like a Christmas thing. I maybe go to like a Christmas event. That's basically as far as it'll go, to be honest. But if it's just like, do I go out just for like the sake of going out, it's a no from me. I won't be there. I'm not going to buy a nice outfit just because. It's just not about me. So yeah, these girls were having a discussion. I walked past and they basically just involved me and was like, you don't ever come out with us, like, you're so boring, blah, blah, blah. And then I kind of bit back. And it wasn't, at the time, it wasn't like, I wasn't being rude. I was kind of just being like sarcastic in a way. Do you know what I mean? And I was kind of like, oh, I just hate everyone. And then I walked away from that situation and I thought, why did I say that? And there's a new girl standing there as well. And I thought, she's going to think she's so rude. And it was just like my ego came out and I was just being a bitch. I was just like, I hate everyone. And I don't. I actually get on with everyone in my work, every single person. Put me in a room with any of them, I'll get on with them. I feel like I'm quite easy to get along with, but it's just this ego came out and I was just like, I just hate everyone, I just don't want, that's just not the case. But I don't know if I felt a bit attacked, even though they weren't being rude either, like, they were just being like, oh, you're so, like, just having like a little laugh. And I just went, just hate everyone. And then I thought that new girl be like that, okay. That new girl will be like, wow, I'm not going to ever speak to her. Do you know what I mean? Like, why did I have to react like that? So yeah, still trying to analyse this one. I don't know if it's like I felt attacked because I am a bit boring and I don't really go out and I don't want them to think that I don't like them because I do. I reject everyone and it's quite bad. But there is always, it's a big workplace, like there's a lot of stuff, there's a lot of things happening, and I'm just kind of like, I can't be at everything, so I'm just going to be at nothing. I am, of course, going to the Christmas night out, but that is my birthday, do you know what I mean? And I'm like, but do I dress birthday-ish or do I dress Christmassy? Do you know what I mean? Who knows what one I'll do? I feel like I've spoken about Christmas quite a lot in this ep, sorry. Um, so yeah, I don't know why I acted like that, and they probably didn't think anything of it. They probably didn't analyse it like I did, but I did because that's what I do. And I just think if they did analyse it, they would be thinking, she's so rude. But I wasn't. That was a rude thing to say. But it was just like they kind of just laughed and was like, ha ha ha, like it was just weird. I don't know why I said that. But so yeah, I don't know if I just felt a bit attacked because I know I'm boring and I feel bad that I don't go and that I reject people. I'm not really sure where that came from, to be honest, so apologies if you're watching and if you even remember, because for you it was probably a Tuesday, but for me it was a long Tuesday night analysing my behaviours. I speak to her about it all the time as well because I say things and I get triggered by things quite easily. One of my biggest triggers is lying, and I know that's like cliche, right? Like everyone, oh my god, everyone hates liars, blah blah. But I hate liars. Like it really irritates me and it ruins. If I get lied to about the smallest thing, ruins my life. Not to be dramatic, it'll probably stick in my head for about a week and it'll ruin the whole day. Like I just don't understand. I think it's because very self-aware, very understanding. You don't have to lie about literally anything. So this thing that pops into my head is basically, I asked this girl to do something for me, but I was a little bit busy, so I was like, could you just do that? Is that okay? And she went, yeah, that's totally fine. I went away doing my little busy job, came back, and this other person was like, that, did you ask her to do that? And I'm like, yeah. And she was like, well, she just says you didn't ask her to do it. I'm like, well, I did though, didn't I? Do you know what I mean? And why did you have to lie to say, because now I look like a liar, because I've said, I've asked her to do that, and they've said, Kiara didn't ask me. But in fact, Kiara did ask, didn't I? Yes, I did. Anyway, so that just railed me up. I'm like, there was no need to lie there. Do you know what I mean? And I've kind of always been like that. Like, if someone's told me I'll be here at this time or whatever, right, and they're not, instant panic, instant rage, just get really upset, and it's like, why are you being so dramatic? But in my head, I'm like, no, this is serious shit. Like, you're back 1 minute late. Coming from the person that's actually late all the time. Like, I'm either bang on time or late. Like, there's no early, okay? I don't even know what that means. I'm either bang on time or late, and that's the only two, okay? So I remember being at primary school, it must have been like, maybe not in the infant, maybe a little bit higher up, but like too young to walk home. So I'd be like, right, I won't meet you at the gate, I'll meet you at the shops. And I'd be like, totally fine. I'll meet you at the shops, a little bit of independence for me, okay? I get to the shops, okay, and she wasn't there this one time. This is the only time, okay, and she wasn't here. I didn't wait. I didn't just wait for her like a normal person. I started, honestly, I don't know if this was a panic attack or not. This could be my one and only panic attack, but this was honestly, I couldn't even catch a breath. I was honestly bawling my eyes out, running up the street. By the way, it's not very long, but that is a long way for a little me. I don't even know how old I was. We're going to say probably about, I think I was probably about 9 years old, and I am absolutely bawling my eyes out. And I remember like everyone in the street, it was obviously school just finished, the streets were packed with parents and little kids, okay? And I was crying my eyes out, running up to my grand's house, okay? Like, honestly, couldn't even catch a breath. There was like tears running, there was just a thing, just an ugly sight. And I was like, do you know what I mean? Like constantly, and it was just a bad time, and everyone was staring at me. Nobody asked if I was okay. I just honestly kept my head down, and I honestly, it was really, really bad. Got to my grand's house. My gran wasn't in, but my auntie was in. She was like new to the scene, by the way. Welcome to the family. Handle this. Do you know what I mean? How are you gonna cope with this one? I remember shouting through the letterbox, being like, Gran, Anyway, long story short, Rachel then let me in. She gave me this little lollipop, not like the big massive ones, it's like colourful and that. She gave me a big massive lollipop and then she just walked me home. My mum, actually, was getting me a sweet out the shop and then had to walk home without me because I had had an absolute freak out. Do you know what I mean? Like, that, I would obviously, like, that's basically what happens now. But now, it's when someone tells me a time they're not there. I'd honestly go, I just panic. I think, oh my god, he's 1 minute late, he's been in a car crash. To be fair, Connor has phoned me before, and he has been in a car crash. Do you know what I mean? And side note, he just phoned me, right? It was a Friday, we both finished work roughly about the same time, so we're both on our way home from work, so I was like literally 3 minutes away from him, okay, he goes up one road, I go up the other, just like from where our works are, and he phones me and he's like, I've just been in a car crash, but it's okay, I'll just see you at the house. Honestly, so calm, the calmest I've ever seen anyone, okay, if that was me, I'd be crying. You would expect his reaction, I thought, must not be that bad. But I was pure shaken for my dad and that he's like my therapist, other than yous, of course. It's like a dual carriage when I just cut off onto like this grass bit in the middle. Am I allowed? No, I am a rebel. And then, so I wasn't made to go all the way round, do you know what I mean? Sorry. It was like 4 o'clock traffic. It was like rush hour. I wasn't made to wait and go all the way around so I could see him. I was just cut over the grass. It made sense to me. Anyway, and his car was like smashed up either side. It looked like a pancake. I was like, oh my gosh, how is he not dead? Like, in the nicest, most polite way, how is he alive? Like, what's going on? And he's dead calm. And the girl that he went into was an absolute biatch. Sorry. But she was. And she was like, how'd you get here so fast? I'm like, how do you think? I basically flew here. What do you mean? And yes, I did. And the police was like, oh, your car's on the grass. And I was like, yes, I was in a hurry. And they were like, totally fine. Do you know what I mean? What should I do? Get me in trouble? The police love me. Do you know what I mean? Everyone loves me. So yeah. So I don't know why I told you that story, but yeah, I think when people are late, it just really freaks me out and I think they're dead. Oh, maybe it's my death anxiety actually coming in. I just, honestly, when people are late, I just think, oh my god, they've died, they're in a car crash, and they're in a bush. That's just what I think. Slipped in the shower, something bad's happened, maybe their friends kidnapped them. I don't know, do I? Because you said you'd be home at 6 and it was 1 minute past. Now what? I actually remember Connor was up with his pals, and he wasn't home, and I was like, that's it. You're sleeping on the couch tonight, and he was like, it's literally just picking up some food, and I thought, okay, no problem, that's fine. Oh dear. I'm going to give you some like tips, okay? I'm just doing this on the spot. I've not got any notes today. Don't know if you can realise, can't keep a topic right now. This is why I like to do notes, but I'm just bringing this one. So, tips, I would say, if you can realise when someone's maybe acting like you're being a bitch to them. Bitch is my word today, sorry. Someone's acting like you're being a bit rude. You could tell what someone's thinking about you in the conversation by the way that they're standing or the way they're sitting or just like the way that they're reacting, right? If they're reacting like standoffish and like, whoa, calm down, you've done something wrong, okay? Fix it. If it's something that keeps coming up, like mine was like every month, it's not just going to take you 3 seconds to like work that one out. You're going to have to deep dive it. And honestly, my best place for thinking is in my car, to be honest. Like, or when I can't sleep before going to bed, like that's when I proper analyse situations. I don't think it's unhealthy either. I think it's actually really, really helpful because now that I can recognise what my triggers are, obviously, Connor doesn't give me time anymore. I don't really need to know when he's coming home. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't really need to know that, to be honest. It's just like, I just don't. Yeah, that's kind of how we're preventing that one. But I also know that that's a trigger now, so if he does tell me time when he is home late, I can kind of be like, right, you're going to be weird dramatic here, just calm down. If you feel like towards different people you act differently, I'm not talking about if you have like certain friends you might act differently around them, because I definitely have friends that are more loud and I have friends that I'm more quiet around, like, do you know what I mean? That's just like how I feel around them. But what I'm speaking about is there's some people that when I see them, it's like my ego just completely comes out and I'm just very much like blunt and I'm very cold, and I don't really know why that is. I'm actually still trying to figure that one out. And I don't know if it's certain things that they've maybe said or done to me and I'm kind of like, don't agree with that, don't agree with like your views or whatever. So that's why that ego comes out. Still trying to figure that one out. But that is a start. Like, as soon as you could recognise, you could then change or put things in place to then change that. The person I'm talking about is when I see them, I'm quite cold, I'm quite blunt, but on text, I'm totally fine. So I don't know if it's because I'm actually having a conversation over text, and maybe in person it's just like we're just speaking because we need to. I'm not really sure. I don't know what it is with this person, but it's quite clearly a me problem, and I'm not too sure why. Like that, like that's maybe been happening for maybe a couple of weeks, and I've not figured that one out yet. I've not deep dived into that, but one day I'll just click, and don't put so much strain. Like I'm not saying go sit in a room and think, why do I think like this? It will honestly just come to you like it. Well, it does for me. And definitely speaking out loud. Hi. Or writing it down, I don't know, discuss it with your friends, send a voice note so you're literally speaking out loud, because I feel like you're so much more open if you're not really comfortable about talking about your feelings. I feel like you're a lot more open either over text, in a voice note, or sitting in a car, because when someone's driving they can't actually really see you, if that makes sense. So it's a lot easier to speak to someone that you're not face to face with. That makes sense. Over the phone might be a bit easier as well, but that's a bit scary because it's like in real time. But with a voice note, you can kind of just voice note them and then throw your phone away and pretend you didn't send that risky little text. I feel like it can really help in like relationship situations as well, because you literally know the other person inside out, or you should. It's quite easy to then go, oh, they're acting like that because of this situation that they've told me about. Like, because I'm self aware, I can also be aware of others and other people's situations and what their triggers are. And if you've got a relationship that have two people that are very self aware, so good, by the way. You're winning. I feel like being self aware and overthinking is like two very similar things. And if you deep dive too much, it could lead to overthinking. Kinda like what I was doing with the whole like, how do they perceive me kind of way? Like when I've got my ego, do they even notice it? Like are they even analysing that? Or did it kind of just go over their head and they just didn't really care? They just thought like, I don't know, it was just like another normal conversation to them, whether I was pure deep in it. Do you know what I mean? So I think again and again, if me thinking, oh my god, they hate me and think I'm a pure rude person, then that's me kind of overthinking that situation. Like if I'm pure like staying up all night thinking, oh my god, they're gonna think that I'm an awful person and probably made a bad first impression like with the new girl, blah blah blah. That's me overthinking. Like don't overthink it. Just kind of like better yourself, and it will happen less, because it'll definitely happen again. Like nobody's perfect. Like being self-aware and analyzing and reflecting on everything doesn't make a perfect person. Like you're still going to slip up, someone's still going to trigger you. It's just you can go, right, they've just triggered me here. You can kind of take a minute, like take a step back, kind of look into yourself and go, right, what's just happened there? Why did it act like this? And you could literally, if you, the more you do it, you'll be able to do it in the moment, okay? And then you can go back to that person and go, look, I'm really sorry for the way I acted. I feel like maybe I felt like you were coming for me there, but you actually weren't, and that was just me and my insecurities or whatever showing through there. So you could just apologise in the moment, or if you don't really like apologising, then it probably wasn't really that big of a deal unless you were a bit dramatic. Do you know what I mean? If it wasn't really that big of a deal, you don't really need to say sorry, in my opinion. But if you have just had a full on bitch fit, oh no, if you have just had a full on meltdown, then yeah, maybe you do have to apologise for that. But yeah, it's not about being, like I said, it's not about being perfect. It's just about recognising when you're kind of in the wrong for your reactions and then fixing that later on and preventing that and at a later stage, really. Another thing that I absolutely love, okay, is when I meet another person that analyses and they are able to tell me what they thought about me when they first met me. No, like, first impressions. Honestly, I could listen to that all day long. I'm like, yes, tell me what you thought about me. Thank you. Because I just think, yeah, I don't know. I just love that. I think it's because I analyse myself and I feel like obviously I know me. So it's good when someone else like totally understands me and they kind of got that. Do you know what I mean? But see, when someone doesn't really get my vibe or doesn't really get my humour, or I am quite sarcastic and sometimes a bit blunt. But when someone's kind of on the same wavelength as me and they could like kind of like bounce off me and we can like, I don't know. It's just good. Like, it's good when you find someone that's the same as you and like you can connect and people are like, oh my god, you're like act that you hate each other. I'm like, yeah, no, that's like my love language. But yeah, I just feel like it's It's good when you meet someone that could be like honest and be like, this is actually what I thought about you when I first met you, and this is what I think about now. I don't know, I just think that's quite fun. Another thing, love when people tell me dreams. I've been having loads of people come up to me and be like, oh my god, you've been in my dream. And I don't know if it's because I'm in their life more because of the pod and they're obviously watching me on their screens every week. Blessed. Or I don't know why, but I'm in quite a lot of people's dreams just now. And I like to analyse that. I'm like, what's it about? What was I like? This girl in my work has a dream like every other week that we go to a party and I leave her, which is probably what I would do. Because I wouldn't want to be there, would I? So yeah, I just like to analyse that too. Honestly, I just analyse everything. It's like a wee hobby. Might put that on my CV. Anyway, I'll leave you there. I actually feel like I'm coming down with a bit of a cold, which isn't good because guess what, guys? It's Halloween next week, and I actually hate Halloween. Can I just say? I actually drove around town last night, and I seen like some people dressed up, and I thought that's gonna be me next week. Like, I don't know if I could cope with that. I'm just kind of like, oh, and I don't know. I think I'm getting old. It's the wee like tiny shorts or. I don't know, it's just not really, I just don't want to be one of them. I just don't want someone to look at me and go, that's what I don't want. But yeah, the outfit is sorted, kind of. I've had to order a new skirt because the skirt was too short. My pal obviously said it looked amazing. It didn't. I actually feel like I'm getting a bit of a cold, so next week I might be riddled with the cold, so I'm sorry about that. I'll see you all next week. Have a nice Halloween. Let me know if you're dressing up. I actually can't wait to see all your outfits. It's going to be amazing. If you are going out, might see you out there. Who knows? I don't know why I sound excited. I'm actually excited to be getting dressed up, to be fair. But I'm not excited to actually go out. I think I might just go. My pal's having little party games. I might just go for party games and then bye. Do you know what I mean? See you later. Hopefully I win best dressed. I don't even think she's doing that, but anyway. Thank you so much for listening. Everything is always linked below in the description. So you can follow me on my personal accounts like TikTok and Instagram, or on the podcast accounts if you want little clips of the eps. And that means you'll never forget. How could you forget about me anyway? You couldn't. Hope you have the most amazing week. And if you're doing anything for Halloween, keep safe, of course. So yeah, keep it sassy, keep it classy, and I'll see you on Sunday. Goodbye.